This is how the Batman died.
Batman Arkham Knight came out in mid-2015 and is the fourth and final release in the Arkham series of games, and by far has the most achievements out of all four of the games. Arkham Knight has 113 achievements. For completing the story itself, you only get about like 20. The rest are for completing all of Gotham's most wanted side missions, as well as doing various challenges within the AR challenges themselves. None of them are like exactly difficult, except for a couple of the AR challenge ones. It just takes fucking forever to do it. So in order to get every achievement, I have to complete the whole story, lock up every villain by doing all of the most wanted missions, and doing a shitload of AR challenges. That shouldn't take that long. I'm not going to be going through the entire main story in the video because I don't want the video to be like 6 hours long. So I'm just going to do like a very brief summary of it to keep it short. Spoiler alert, obviously, if you haven't played the game yet. Also, I don't have footage from like the first 10 hours of me playing because like I'm big stupid, so. Scarecrow is trying to take over Gotham for like probably the 80th time. He has help from this Arkham Knight dude this time around though, so there's like a militia-esque presence all over the place with like fucking tanks, guns and shit. There's so much shit everywhere. Scarecrow's plan this time around though is to release essentially a massive just fart cloud over the entire eastern coastline by using something called the Cloudburst. He detonates the Cloudburst. Poison Ivy sacrifices herself to save Gotham, which is like the first thing she's done in the entire game, and you stop Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight. There you go. It's extremely short summary. That's essentially like the main story beats. That's all that fucking happens pretty much. Also, the Joker's just kind of like fucking with you the entire time, like in your head, from Arkham City when he injected you with his blood like years ago. You'd think it'd be really annoying, but it's really not. He just kind of like pops up on rooftops every once in a while and just kind of like talks mad shit. Half the time it's about Barbara, because, you know. So after you complete the main story and you lock up Scarecrow and the GCPD, which, he's crazy domestic terrorist, like, this dude's crazy. Right, like, I mean, there's, like, Two-Face and villains and whatever, they're just basically, like, bank robbers and shit, but, like, Scarecrow's straight up a domestic terrorist, and you just throw him in the same cell as everybody else, which includes the fire chief, which is kind of whack, but after you do all that shit, the only thing left for you to do in terms of 100%ing the game and getting all the achievements is the Nightfall Protocol, and what that is you lock up all the villains, and Batman / Bruce Wayne just fakes his death and just straight up disappears. Like I already said, the Nightfall Protocol requires you to lock up all of Gotham's villains in the GCPD, as well as like a few side stuff like rescuing the city's fire crew, clearing out checkpoints and watchtowers, and just like blowing up these bombs that are kind of sitting in the ground, really not doing anything, because there's nobody in Gotham anyway. The only people driving cars is Batman and the thugs themselves. So the fact that these bombs are just sitting in the road is really fucking dumb. In total, there are 18 side stories, 14 of them being villains / Azrael. I don't know what to group him up with, because he's not like a villain, but he's like a physical human being that you go and see like 6 times. But yeah, and Hush is in the game too, but he's literally just a single throwaway mission. Like, you complete a mission and Alfred's like, oh, by the way, I think Lucius is in trouble, and you just go fucking body slam Hush into a desk basically, and that's the entire Hush storyline for Arkham Knight. They also did Deathstroke like pretty fucking dirty in this game. Basically, after the Arkham Knight is defeated, he takes over the militia. Deathstroke becomes like the pseudo leader of the militia strictly because he wants to murder Batman from probably Arkham Origins. I don't even know how long ago that was in the timeline, but whatever. So it's not even like an actual fight. Like, to be able to fight him, you just have to like do a couple things. Like, there's a couple more bombs in the ground or a couple more tanks to go blow up, and then you get to fight him. And by fight him, I mean you just kill it. You just blow his tank up. It's the same as the Arkham Knight boss fight, except Deathstroke is talking to you instead of Arkham Knight. It's kind of whack. There's no like hand-to-hand fighting, nothing like the Arkham Origins boss fight. It's kind of whack, dude. The only other villain really worth talking about here, in order to save time, because all the other ones are pretty straightforward. You just select the mission, it puts a mark on your map, and you go beat the shit out of them and lock them up. But the only other one worth talking about is the Riddler. Yes, you have to do all the Riddler trophies, which I don't remember if there were nearly this much in Arkham City, because I never did it. But in Arkham Knight, there's almost 250 riddles, trophies, things to blow up, whatever, throughout the whole game. That's a lot. It's not even hard. It's just super, super time consuming. Occasionally you can catch these like green glowing dudes out in the world and like interrogate them for locations on a few trophies and riddles, which is nice, I guess. But 250? That's fucking crazy. After you get every single trophy across the whole city, the Stag airships, and a few other locations in the game, you and Catwoman go back to the orphanage. Because beforehand, Riddler kind of like teases you, like he just kind of bullshits with you in a mech, and then he goes into the ground and says, I'm just going to sit down here until you solve everything. Like, what if I just didn't solve everything and just fucking left him down there? But whatever. After you do all that, he comes back up, you beat the shit out of him in his fuck-ass mech suit or whatever, and then you go lock him up. I guarantee everyone that does 100% on the game does the Riddler last, strictly because of the sheer amount of, like, time commitment it takes to complete this. It's so long. Alright, now on to the DLCs. There are 6 kind of story-related DLCs. Those are A Matter of Family, Flip of a Coin, GCPD Lockdown, Catwoman's Revenge, Red Hood Story Pack, and the Harley Quinn Story Pack. The only one that has more than one achievement in it is the Matter of Family DLC with Batgirl and Robin. That one has 4 achievements for completing it, as well as 4 secret achievements in it. So the A Blade of Memory achievement has you just destroying these like balloons, destroying these shattered teeth, and walking up and finding these jack-in-the-boxes that are just kind of sitting around the park. I'm pretty sure all of them are up top, like, you know, not in like any story-related areas. Like, once you can roam around the park freely, you can find all of them. None of them are locked behind like having to go to the very end of the DLC and then, oh, you missed fucking 6 of them, then you gotta restart. Nah, they're all like up top where you can just kind of freely run around and destroy them. Snug in Their Beds has you going to 4 locations around the park, doing some sort of action, whether that be playing a mini game or moving some bumper cars around, whatever, and uncovering the secret of the park itself. For the Ambush achievement, you need to perform 4 takedowns during the effects of a single scare hack. So, for some reason, this DLC has a very heavy emphasis on Batgirl using the hacking device. You use it like every 5 minutes, and what a scare hack is you'll take out the hacking device, you'll point it at this giant yellow glowing generator or whatever mini game thing, just to scare like the thugs. And then you can essentially do like a fear multi-takedown on them. I'm pretty sure you'd get this like right at the beginning, like the very first scare hack that you do in the entire DLC, because there's like 6 dudes standing around, and I don't know if Batgirl even has a limit on her fear multi-takedown like Batman does. But yeah, just scare the shit out of some people and beat the fuck out of them. Finally, for the Weird War Tales achievement, you need to defeat 15 enemies during any type of hack. This includes the scare one that I talked about earlier. It's probably easiest to just do it over here. You can lead like this big group of dudes over to this Ferris wheel, scare all of them, and then just do this big fear multi-takedown on as many as you can until the game doesn't let you anymore. Now, this part had to have been the worst section of like achievements to achieve. Obtaining all the Riddler trophies was not shit compared to this, because all the Riddler trophies, it's not even hard. It's just annoying. This was like actually difficult and annoying at the same time. There are 7 characters to do these AR challenges with, and each one of those 7 characters you need to achieve 21 stars. Those characters being Azrael, Robin, Nightwing, Catwoman, Harley, Batgirl, and Red Hood. Those are easy. That's the easy shit. The real annoying ones are the Curtain Falls, the Chill in the Air, and Requiem for a Killer. Them fucking shits. Holy crap. Requiem for a Killer, you have to play as Batman on the Iceberg Lounge AR challenge. You need to get around 1 million points, which can be very annoying considering you have to essentially be perfect the whole time. You have to hold like a 200 combo the entire time. It can be kind of frustrating. No! So once you get 1 million points, or roughly around there, enemies they'll stop spawning completely, and Killer Croc will start to just kind of like talk shit from the sidelines. After you defeat all the remaining enemies, he will then jump down, and it'll basically just turn into a boss fight, because Nightwing will jump in out of nowhere, and you'll just beat up Killer Croc. And once Killer Croc gets beaten up completely, like the boss fight's over, then you get the achievement, and the nightmare of that achievement is over. Even though I'm pretty sure that's gotta be the easiest one. Gotta be. Little side note, if you're doing Requiem for a Killer, or really any of these combat ones with Batman, I would recommend, if you have all the DLC, to do the Batman like 2035 skin, because it just removes his cape completely and just makes everything so much easier to see. It'll help out a lot. The Chill in the Air achievement, right? This one has you completing the Crime Alley challenge unharmed as Batman, Robin, and Nightwing. This one's not nearly as bad as the next achievement, because you don't need to hold a combo. You just need to not get hit once throughout any of the rounds. So it sounds easy enough, but sometimes just random ass shit will happen, like an enemy will decide to attack way quicker than normal, or you'll just get tackled by somebody that you never saw, or at one point the game decided it wanted me to just punch a guy with a cattle prod face first, despite there being an enemy right next to him that didn't have a weapon at all. I don't know, it can get very annoying having to restart a lot. Now for the big one. This one was crazy. This one was straight up just fucked up. There's a reason this one is the least earned achievement on Steam, and probably all the other platforms as well. You have to complete the Monarch Theater challenge, flawless free flow as Catwoman, Robin, Nightwing, and Batman. So what a flawless free flow means is you can't get harmed a single time, no matter if you get shot, get tackled, shocked, doesn't matter. And you can't break your combo once throughout the entire round once your combo starts. This one was kind of butt cheeks, because sometimes you get hit with crazy lightning fast attacks, and other times the enemy would just entirely cancel their attack before you can even hit the counter button, so your combo just gets fucked. You play it as Catwoman. For whatever reason, there's 6 shield guys on her final round. She has no way of handling shield dudes like Batman does, where he can just like destroy their shield and throw it on the floor. She can't do that. So you just kind of like dance around for 15 minutes trying not to get bashed with a shield. It's so fucking frustrating. Who the hell decided to put 6 shield dudes on her final round? Because that's fucked up. In between that and her doing like 80 cartwheels and 47 front flips half the time she attacks somebody, it's just very annoying to do it with Catwoman. There's a few stealth challenge related achievements, but those are pretty straightforward, and the description tells you everything you need to know. So I'm not even gonna bother with those ones. There's only like 3 or 4. There's also achievements for getting stars in the race challenges with all of the different Batmobiles. Those being the 2008 Tumbler from The Dark Knight, the 1989 Batmobile, the original Arkham Batmobile, the 1960s Batmobile, and the 2016 Batman v Superman Batmobile. These achievements weren't terribly hard. However, the original Arkham Batmobile has some really odd handling. It's It's almost like you're driving on ice the entire time. It's just really, really shitty. There's a couple of miscellaneous achievements such as Blunt Trauma, which is to perform every type of stealth takedown. You would do pretty much all of these during a regular playthrough except for the line launcher takedown. Throughout the whole game, you hardly ever even use the line launcher, let alone get into a position to do the takedown. I didn't even know it existed until I had to look up which one I was missing for the achievement. Brutality 101 is for doing 15 combat moves in one single combo, so just doing regular attacks, countering different takedowns, as well as quick using the gadgets. It sounds pretty easy, but once I actually started doing it, my brain would just straight up forget which moves I still had to perform. After all of this, the only achievement I needed was to complete the game on New Game Plus, so I had to play the entire game again. All in all, I thought the game was very fun and a very worthy close to the Arkham series.